Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go with them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, get your story titled, Am I the A-hole for leaving her with barely anything? And a shout out to Don for sending me this story. And guys, this story is about a guy. He is 34, been with his girlfriend for like 9 years, long time. And in that time period, this guy's made the colossal mistake of paying for everything. And in that time, she's been a stay-at-home girlfriend. Yeah, how ridiculous is that? Not doing anything. And this guy is now shocked when out of the blue, she's breaking up with him. She's breaking up with him, wants nothing to do with him, fell out of love with him. And so this guy, although he's made mistakes, handles it like a boss. And guess what? She doesn't like that too much, because she actually thought that he'd go on paying for everything for her, even though they broke up. And that'll be a very entertaining one to go over here, guys. Aside from the fact that you're going to see how he handles it right, how, guys, there are very entitled, lazy people in this world that are more than happy to freeload and mooch off you, and be very careful. And if you have a girlfriend or a wife, there should be no reason she's not working, contributing to the household, unless she's raising the kids. The little kids aren't old enough to go to school, or she's pregnant, very pregnant, almost ready to give birth, that type of thing. Beyond that, she needs to get a freaking job, contribute in some way. But having her home all the time, just sitting around watching Netflix all day, and her going to the gym, that's ridiculous. And I might add, that's going to make her lose respect for you. And this guy obviously made mistakes. However, like I said, you're going to see how he handles it. And let's just say she's not too happy about that. So it starts off, says here, I, a 34-year-old male, and my girl, a 33-year-old female, broke up around a month ago. We've been together for 9 years. She hasn't worked for the last 7 of those 9 years. The reason is because she didn't have to. Call me a mug if you want, but I'm very financially stable, and I loved her. And I was happy to give her everything she needed and wanted, and she expressed that she didn't want to work anymore. Smack! Are you out of your mind? Dude, have some self-respect. Where all that money going to her? I don't care how financially stable you are. Come on here. That's just going to cause her to just be more and more entitled. More and more of a freeloader. What is she doing all day? Your stay-at-home girlfriend. Like, nothing. Nothing at all. Probably just being bored, finding ways to, entertain herself. And that means not with you. It says here, she didn't want to work anymore, blah, blah, blah. I generally thought I found the one, so I didn't think it would ever be an issue. Well, you were wrong, my man. And you heard there, she didn't want to work. She's probably thinking, this is great. This guy's going to pay for everything. She broke things off with me. It was very out of the blue and devastating to me. I'll be honest, calm as the breakup was, she didn't seem particularly bothered when she told me she didn't love me anymore. That was the reason she wanted to split up. She'd fallen out of love with me. So you're going to see he's very surprised at how just done she was. Usually when women break up with guys, it's because they've reached the point there's nothing left. And I might add, there's a replacement. And that way they can move on. If this woman here has not worked in 7, 8, 9 years, and this guy's paying for everything, clearly she has somebody new that can take care of her, or at least who she thinks can take care of her. I was obviously upset and honestly shocked. I asked if I'd done anything wrong, and she said no, that she just fell out of love with me. See? As cold as can be. And it just hit me like, okay, this is happening. There's nothing I can do about it, but I'm also not going to grovel and beg her to stay. Good, bro, you should not. Don't lower yourself to be like that. She clearly made up her mind with how nonchalant she was about it. I didn't want an argument. I didn't want a huge scene, so I told her calmly, but visibly upset, to go and pack some clothes and stuff and go to her sister's house or something, because I couldn't have her there. In the moment, I asked for the key to the house, and she got a little irritated by that, but did give it to me, then left. Irritated? What gives her the nerve, the gall, to get irritated? To break it up. She's telling him she doesn't love him anymore. And all nonchalant, I might add. After him giving these things to her all these years, but it goes to show you guys, you're not going to win her heart, and certainly not her mind and soul, by just giving her things. You can have Chad and Tyrone that live in their mama's basement or mama's trailer with nothing, no job, and that guy can have a girl's heart and mind, but not a guy that gives a girl everything for 7 years. See what I mean? And it's not about what you can give her. Don't get me wrong. There are plenty of women out there that will shack up with guys that can give everything, but they don't love them. And when they think they found something better, or they can keep milking the guy, then you'll get this. And she has the nerve to get pissed off that he's telling her to get out. The following evening, we did talk on the phone. She called me. I answered, and we talked, though there was nothing really to talk about. I did say to her, "So you really made up your mind, huh?" And she said yes, and that this is what she wanted. I can't stress this enough that I really was devastated, and her blasé and nonchalantness to the situation did irritate me, because I think in this raw and fresh time, I was confused by it. So many guys, I've heard this more times than I can count over the years, are just so shocked how a girl can just, what he thinks goes from loving him one day to just being done with him the next. Number one, she didn't love you the day before. This has been building up over time. They usually wait until they're done, and then they're done, and they walk away, and it's like nothing happened. How she ended 9 years just like that, but clearly, like I said, she'd always been thinking about it and was over her side of things emotionally. See? And usually when a girl just says, "I'm just falling out of love with you," and all that type of things, she's falling for somebody else. The following couple days, I slowly came to terms with it all and started making plans to organize things. I took her off the car insurance for the second car that I bought that she uses as her own and went to get it, and she did not like that. What does she expect, to keep living with you for free and driving your car for free and you paying the auto insurance while you're broken up, while she's not fucking you? And by the way, he didn't mention anything like her cleaning the house or cooking or how often they have the lovin'. But I'm gonna probably assume that he wasn't getting much of that anyway. Also, I canceled her phone contract, and she didn't like that either. I stopped her access to my bank account, all that kind of stuff. Holy Jesus, holy Lord in heaven. Did he just say she had access to his bank account? Smack, smack. Never do that, guys. Never do what he's doing in this whole thing here. But access to, she's just his girlfriend. Or did he say fiancée? I can't remember. Yeah, I think she's his fiancée. He mentions that later. But even then, access to his bank account? Holy shit, she could drain him dry, wire that money outside the country, and be gone like that. Dumbass. Naturally, she didn't like any of it. But we're not together anymore, and I was not paying for all that. You no longer should have access to any of it. It's not a difficult concept. I think she thought this guy was such a pushover, such a weak, let's be honest, S-I-M-P. I have to spell it out because YouTube doesn't like that word anymore. Not that they ever did. That she probably thought he'd keep paying for things. Things got nasty one night when she asked to come over and pick up more of her things. I said, yeah, because she did have a few bits here. She came over. I silently let her in and went back to the living room, while she went around gathering some things in a suitcase that she bought with her. She came into the living room and picked up her laptop. I said, "You can put that down. That doesn't belong to you." And an argument then broke out. I ended up looking in her suitcase, and there were other things that didn't belong to her. So I took them out while she started yelling at me for being petty. Petty if they were his things. I mean, maybe so. I let her keep the phone at least after I canceled the contract, and told her she can keep the engagement ring and do whatever she wants with that. Fuck that. Give me back the goddamn ring. That ring's on the basis that you're going to marry me. It isn't just a gift. Remember, all these years, she hasn't made any money, done anything for herself. Now, here's the thing. If they lived in a location that had common law marriage, then clearly she would get all this stuff, but clearly they don't. I snapped at her while she was yelling at me and said, "You have nothing. You have the clothes on your back in this house, your makeup, your hair dryer, your hair straighteners. You can take all that. Everything else in this fucking house isn't yours for you just to take." She started crying, and I asked her to leave. She sent me a huge text message, basically, in a nutshell, saying it was unfair. Unfair? How about it's unfair to him that after everything he's done for her, she treats him like this, like he's nothing? Guys, they will leave you like that and not care what you did for them. Meanwhile, a gal like this will chase a guy that treats her like complete shit. And we all know it. That's why you don't ever feel bad for women. Guys, and I'm sure most of you at this point know this, but I'm sure a lot of you guys are acquainted with at least one girl that you've known in your life whether it be a female family member, a coworker, maybe an ex-girlfriend, a friend, whatever, that whines and cries about the bad boys treating them like crap. Meanwhile, they chase after these guys that are lowlives, and they had good guys, or could have good guys, but they don't care about them. Never, ever feel bad for them, no matter what they say the bad boy does to them, because this is how they treat good guys. Now, I'm not saying every girl's like this, but a lot are. Anyway, it's not going well. He says here, I don't think I've been fair. It's been real about, okay. She said he was being unfair. I don't think I've been real about it all. If we had kids, it absolutely would have been a different situation. But this was two people splitting up, which was one of which was myself, was paying happily for everything she had. We're not together anymore. How is it unfair of me to take away all that? You are no longer my partner. It is no longer yours. You no longer have the benefit of having me to care for you financially. How is that not understood and being unfair? Dude, you're trying to reason with her. You're trying to get her to understand logic and common sense here. And she's full on emotion train. An emotion bullet train here. You're speaking two languages. The reality is, she thought she could keep using you. Her perception of you was that you were a big pushover, which, let's be honest, you were. But the thing is, there are a lot of guys out there that feel great pride, like they can totally pay for their girlfriend, pay for things, like they're being a big, strong provider. But sadly, those guys are usually the beta male providers and are taken advantage of. So don't be this way, guys, towards anybody. There's too many people in this world that take advantage of you. She now pretty much has nothing. She's sleeping on her sister's couch, needing to find a job again. It is what it is, and not my problem. So I'm going to now go into, he now responds to a bunch of questions people had more about the situation there. But let me tell you, I mean, did she act, let's just say there wasn't a guy in the picture, I have a hard time believing that there was no plan here, that she was just going to leave, no job, nothing. But I think she just expected him to pay for everything. Now, he's going to respond to some questions people had about various things here I figure you guys want to hear about. He says here, number one, the car situation. We had two cars, both owned by me. I put her on the insurance for one of those cars so she could drive it legally while we were together. I had no problem her using that as her own car, but it did not belong to her. Good. The title was in his name. Next, he also says, I've edited my main post because folks keep harping on about the car situation. I suppose I didn't word it carefully. The car was not hers, never was hers, and was not a gift to her. Okay, his car, you can use it, honey, but it's not her car. Because a lot of people were giving him shit. Two, where I come from, you have to split everything. You have to pay alimony. He says, where I come from, you don't, not married, no kids. Okay, so there's no common law marriage where he is. Three, but didn't she cook and clean? He says, she did, yes, we both did. Okay, they both cooked and cleaned, but if he's paying for everything, that guy should never have to cook as much as a pack of ramen noodles. That guy should never have to as much as warm up something in the microwave with the life he's providing for her. Four, the laptop. The laptop was not a gift, and nowhere did I say it was a gift. It was something I bought that I used. She used my laptop too regularly, but it wasn't hers. Okay. Five, did you let her keep things that were hers or gifts that you gave her? He says, yes. I let her keep and take things that she used alone. Example, her makeup, certain electronics like her hair stuff, her phone, gifts I had bought her for birthdays, Christmases, anniversaries, her engagement ring, keepsakes, and other random gifts. She left half of them at the house, not taking or wanting them. Six, this is fake. He says, okay, you can think of what you want, but it isn't. Seven, it doesn't seem like you cared either. You said you were calm even though you were devastated. Oh my God. People are giving him shit that he wasn't crying and melting down. No. He made mistakes by being too giving to her, to someone that truly didn't deserve it. But it didn't mean you have to have an emotional breakdown. The guy was stoic. Guess what? It can happen. I'm sure when she wasn't around, he probably was very upset. He just didn't want to mention it. He says, I'm a calm person. I was and still am hurt and upset by all this. Just because I wasn't shouting and screaming doesn't mean I didn't care. I was visibly upset. She saw that. You didn't. He says, after reading comments, he says, most of you make good points. I made this post to get opinions. Whether you think I'm an a-hole or not doesn't actually matter to me. I see all your points. I understand everything most folks are saying. I'm not saying I'm the good guy in this scenario. I'm still hurt, but I'll get over it. I did some things to be spiteful. I'm not denying that. My point still stands that none of it was hers, though. That's just the facts. Well, you know what? Who cares if he was being spiteful? Seriously. 9 years he's with her, 7 years that she's not working, he provided everything, and she made it clear she didn't want to work, and she's been a freeloader, and she just leaves him like that. I'm not in love with you anymore. I mean, okay, it's great that she at least let him know instead of milking it any longer and marrying him, but still, he has a right to be upset, hurt, and a little spiteful. That's what I think. Now, let's see here, a few comments here. I'm going to wrap this thing up. But anyhow, guys, the point of the whole story is, in case you don't want to hear some of these nice comments people leave, don't be this guy, okay? If you have a girlfriend and she is, or wife, and she's very good to you and loving and loyal and displays all the qualities that a good girlfriend or wife or fiance has, okay, great. You treat her well, but you're not like this. And unless she's pregnant, and I do mean pretty close to delivery time, or raising the kids at home because they're too small to go to preschool yet, other than that, she needs to have a fucking job or an income. Something she's doing to help contribute, because that's bullshit. And if she doesn't, god damn it, she must be cooking every meal, cleaning the house every day, keep making her body look unbelievable at the gym, fucking her guy 3 times a day if he wants to, all that. But other than that, because he's out there dealing with the grind every day. He's enduring the rat race, if you will. So no. Other than that, and never be that crazy generous. That is just too much. There are too many people who take advantage of you. Anyhow, some comments. This guy says she had 7 years to work on an exit plan for herself and save money in the case that she'd break up with you, and she didn't. She took the time to totally emotionally detach from you, and in the end, the relationship in her head before she actually did it. But she couldn't take any time to make realistic plans for all the stuff she was about to lose access to. There's no one's fault but her own. She needs to grow up, not the a-hole. Another one says here, when she comes crawling back, and she definitely will, don't open the door. Y'all have no kids, and you have no reason to indulge in her fuckery. Block her and forget she exists. What made her think she could keep the whole damn car? My God has been smacked at her audacity. The guy fucked up the thing. Yeah, I forgot to mention that. She will be back. Guaranteed, when she realizes that it's not working out the way she thought it would, or it didn't work out with the guy she probably left him for, she'll be back. Do not take her back. She's a freeloader. She's a user. Don't fall for it. Block her and everything. Don't answer the door. And one more. This guy says, not the a-hole. You don't owe her anything that wasn't explicitly given as a gift to her. You supported her financially for 7 years. That's huge. If she no longer wants a relationship, then she shouldn't expect any financial support. She's pretty dumb if she didn't consider that the money would immediately be cut off the second she broke up with you. Her lack of an exit plan is her own fault. A smart woman would have gotten a job, had some savings, and a plan to get a car before breaking off a long-term relationship. You're better off without her and completely justifying your actions. Amen. Exactly. And one more, because this is very important. This guy says here, not the a-hole. Please learn from this mistake and don't be taken advantage of again. I would never want to stay at home if I didn't have any children or family to take care of. She really thought that she could take care of things, she could take things and she didn't pay for. Of course she did. Because there's a lot of freeloaders out there, a lot of moochers. And be careful, guys. And guess what? It isn't just women. You can have family members that are moochers and freeloaders. You can have friends, acquaintances, co-workers. There are a lot of people out there that are just looking to take advantage of somebody. I've met some. Be careful. But other than that, guys, this guy, he made mistakes, but he ended on a high note, so good for him. And you know what? I think probably after reading this, all the comments, he's probably learned, and hopefully he won't make the same mistake twice. But anyhow, he handled it very well. Good for him. And for her, F her. All right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And guys, you find a good story, definitely send it my way. Whether it's longer stories I do over here, or the shorter stories I do on the other channel, Hit the Bricks. Or if you got a personal story that you want to share or question you want to ask, I can do that on the Strong Successful Male channel. And if you haven't subscribed to my other channels, Strong Successful Male or Hit the Bricks, definitely at the end of this video, go on over, subscribe, because the more the channels grow, the more you guys can learn things, have good entertainment, and frankly, it always pisses off a feminist. And be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.